can go wrong if a parent does not react well when they learn that their child is autistic, like right after they learn that their child is autistic?
So, a lot. And if so, you can really help. I mean, autism just means that you have a different, like set of needs, like a different way of interacting. That's not like what you would do with a neurotypical child, right? So, if you recognize and you learn that your child is autistic, if you react wrong, you can either not do the kinds of things, the changes necessary to take care of them and foster their growth and learning and development, which is bad because then your kids' opportunities in the future are going to be stunted. People are getting better and better with employment, regardless of like disability, mental disorders. Like we're getting better at it slowly and slowly. But if you don't help your kid from the get-go, you're kind of hindering their chances for success in the future. Because I've read that you can really make a big difference in a child who has autism by just if you know early and you can intervene early, you can help a lot. But if you don't do that, then you're not helping at all, and so that's not helping your kids' growth. And I guess the mental attitudes and behaviors that parents would bring to their interactions with kids if they don't if they treat autism as a bad thing and start reacting negatively to the kid and just say and act in ways that makes the kid think that they're a burden to their parents, then that's really terrible, right? For their self-esteem, how much the kid values themselves, their interest to grow and succeed, that will all be really badly affected. So parents should, just, however, it's sad to think that it could happen, but I can also see it happening. So just be really, none of us are parents yet. So I guess just be caring. Right?
I think the primary job of the parent is to make the child feel safe.
Yeah.
Right. So I think just being balanced and just saying, okay, let's just talk about this, just asking questions and just making them feel heard, like that itself like de-escalates the tension that the child is experiencing. So once you've done that, then you can have a bigger conversation about how they they want to address things. Problem is, I think this is, again, it's kind of a socio-economic problem, because most autistics aren't living in first world countries. Most autistics don't grow up in, right, as most of the world is living in, in a relatively not so prosperous state. Problem with that is, if you're in a not so prosperous state, you're not worried about like how your child feels. You're worried about like making enough money that day, or making enough money that month, to meet your needs, and that just compounds a bunch of issues. Right, like if that's your primary focus, how will you even like sit down and have the dialogue that you need to? It doesn't make any sense. So how that will be tackled is a big question mark. But if you're in a position where you have the time and money to like sort of think and enable others, make sure your family is heard, whatnot, you have the time and resources for that, you should be able to do this. It's a difficult thing to do, but this is like the most transformational thing. So
you do bring up a good point. Sia?
I had witnessed this go down in a friend group of mine. I should say acquaintance group. Maybe 2 years ago, when I was present during a conversation when someone revealed their diagnosis, and they had just been diagnosed, I want to say a month ago. Like they had gone through all the processes and they, had the paperwork they needed. So they were sharing it in the context of, hey, I'm going to go to the Disability Resource Center. This is what's happening. And the person that I was sitting next to decides to just start saying, well, you don't seem autistic to me. That doesn't make sense. Are you sure? And they have known each other for quite some time. And obviously, that conversation made the person with the diagnosis very uncomfortable. They were, they felt invalidated, I'm guessing. They didn't express a lot of what they felt, but I'm imagining they felt a lot. So just, extrapolating that with a friend and now taking it to the person who is supposed to take care of you for your entire life and who affects you so much. I have also read about on Reddit forums experiences of people where their parents just weren't ready to accept the diagnosis, or they joined organizations that were very vehemently for curing autism on, on all positions. And so I'm imagining that's going to be so difficult. So, just as friends or people in the lives of other people, it might be important to take a minute to think about the questions that we're asking, and the tone that we're asking them in. And then a lot of I feel like people in my life, in my family, who aren't that plugged into the internet, and are slowly still coming into it, might not know how to react to these things. So if you're present for these conversations with people who might be older or not that much in touch with the internet and don't know where to find those resources, then it might be our place to just say, hey, maybe let's not do that. These are some resources that I've found, or it is something that's very valid and it's very real. So just channeling that into the appropriate places.
I think, like, yeah, that's a very interesting point that Sia brought up. I think, again, even over there, even if you don't know, very basic thing, assume you don't know and listen. It's and I think that rule applies for everything. Like, why not do it for this? It's pretty commonsensical.
Yeah, that is
That
very
case, yeah.
true. And usually with parents, like the way they see the world, kids tend to think that the way the parents see the world is the right way to see the world. So when
Yeah.
you don't see autism as an important thing, as something to be proud of, or like something to do something about. Even let's say you are diagnosed with autism, if you don't do anything about it, the early diagnose wouldn't have helped, because you didn't really change anything within your lifestyle, and especially within your kids' lifestyle. And that's why with early diagnosis, it's also important that the right steps are taken after that.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more videos on the topic, make sure to check out our playlist where we answer more questions. We'll see you next time.